is getting clearer. The past is gone. It went by like it does to dawn. Isn't that the way? Everybody's got their dues in life to pay. Half my life's in books or written pages. Live and learn from fools and from sages. You know it's true. All the things come back to you. Sing with me, sing for the year, sing for the love, sing for the tear. Just for today, maybe tomorrow the good Lord will take you away. Dream on, dream on, dream on, dream until your dream come true. Dream on, dream on, dream on, dream until your dream comes true.
What is the wrong way to be a parent if you have a creative child and you don't know it? And what's the right way? I mean, you're a parent.
Well, here's a good thing to do if you want to have a creative genius as an adult child. Die before they're 10. That helps a lot. So there's quite an extensive list. So if you're inclined to do that, suicide would really do it because.
Now explain. Explain that, please.
Yeah, well, there's a famous psychologist named Hans Eysenck who was the most highly cited psychologist in the world for a long time, and for all I know still may be. He wrote a great book called Genius, which is a real study of creativity. It's the real thing, and so people just hate it because it's not full of platitudes that will make you feel good. He says to be truly creative you have to have a near genius level IQ, and that sort of puts you in the 1 in 1,000 range, so that's kind of annoying to begin with. That might be me.
I don't know.
And so, but he's also found that early traumatic experiences are good predictors of late creativity. Now we should also say that early traumatic experiences are also great predictors of catastrophic adult lives. So, but you can imagine the thing that people don't understand about creativity, or one of them, is that there's no reason to be creative unless you have a problem to solve. And if someone dies on you young and you're forced to fend your way in the world and to deal with that kind of trauma, you have to put yourself together in a creative manner, and it's no joke. And so early negative experiences allied with high intelligence and this kind of temperament that we were talking about is one of the things that fosters creative production. And, parents are misinformed about this sort of thing because they think that if they just do laissez-faire things with their children, you can do anything you want, they'll automatically be creative. It's like, that's the stupidest thing you could possibly imagine, because that isn't how creativity works. And so a good example of that, like a symbolic example, is the example of the genie. And the word genie is at the root of the word genius, so they're nicely tied together. And you think a genie is this tremendous godlike force encapsulated in this tiny little space. And in order for the genie to be able to grant wishes, it has to be both constrained extraordinarily tightly and be without constraint at the same time. It's the conjunction of those two things. And so in order to have someone be creative, you have to set them a difficult problem. Great literary figures, Dostoevsky, Tolstoy, people like that, Shakespeare, man, they're solving tough problems.
So let's go back to this trauma thing. What if you are, your personality traits point to conservative 10-year-old and your parent dies? What happens to you? Do you automatically become creative, or are you out of luck?
You just spiral into the abyss and there's no... No, I would say that what a conservative child would do.
Does that make you creative?
No,
or
it's
either you are or you're
unlikely.
not.
It's very unlikely. I mean, a lot of these things are more biologically determined than people like to admit. I mean, what? If you're introverted, try turning yourself into an extrovert. See how well that works. It's good luck. Like, if you have a really introverted child, you can make that child socially skilled and able to tolerate interactions with groups, but the probability that you'll make that child like it is so low. Because introverts, for example, get exhausted by social contact. So those of you in the audience, you think, well, you go to a party, do you have more energy afterwards or less? If the answer is, well, far less, I need to go sit in a dark room with an ice pack on my head, then then you're more introverted, and it's very difficult to move that. You can, but it's very hard. And creativity is the same way. You can crush it. You can crush it.
Crush creativity.
Oh, sure, that's easy. And we do that all the time. And you're usually pretty happy about it, too. So,
Well, give us an example of how to crush creativity so we don't do it.
Quit daydreaming.
Oh, my God. Yes, I remember
that's the same thing as saying quit being creative. That's the same thing. Quit daydreaming. It's like, quit using your imagination.
You're bringing back bad memories now, Jordan.
Yeah, well, schools do that all the time. Stop daydreaming and pay attention to your work. It's like, well, what if my work is daydreaming? Well, then we're going to punish you.
When I was young, I should have known better, but I don't feel numbers. You don't feel nothing back. I got a new girlfriend. She feels like she's on top, but I don't feel numbers. You can't see past my blindness. Ophelia, you've been on my mind, girl, since the flood. Ophelia, hadn't helped before falls in love. I got a little paycheck. You got big plans, and you gotta move. But I don't feel nothing at all. You don't feel nothing small. Honey, I love you. That's all she wrote. Oh, Ophelia, you've been on my mind, girl, like a drug. Ophelia, heaven help a fool who falls in love. Ophelia, you've been on my mind, girl, since the flood. Oh, Ophelia.